Beloved Saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Jehoiakim Part 2 in the history of kings who were omitted from the third period in the Matthew genealogy from the 5th book of redemptive history series, The Promise of the Eternal Covenant. Previously in Part 1, we learned that Jehoiakim was a tyrant full of greed, and he persecuted God's prophets and burned the word of God. At this time, let us continue to learn about Jehoiakim and share God's grace together. Third, Jehoiakim was bound in chains and taken to Babylon. In 608 BC, around the time Jehoiakim was about to become king of Judah, the Assyrian Empire had collapsed, and Egypt and Babylon were fighting for supremacy in the former Assyrian territory. Babylon then dominated northern Mesopotamia, while Pharaoh Necho of Egypt exerted influence over Palestine. In 605 BC, Babylon defeated Egypt at the Battle of Carchemish and became the most powerful nation of its time. After the Babylonian king Nebuchadnezzar secured dominance, he attacked Judah. This was Babylon's first attack upon Judah. 3 years later, in 602 BC, Babylon and Egypt battled again. This time, Egypt temporarily gained victory, and Nebuchadnezzar returned to Babylon. At that time, Jehoiakim seized this opportunity to free himself from Babylon and betrayed King Nebuchadnezzar with the hope that Egypt would come to his aid. However, Egypt was only able to fend off a Babylonian attack. It did not have enough strength to help Judah. As a result of not trusting in God and relying on Egypt, a world power, Jehoiakim was taken to Babylon in bronze chains. This is recorded in 2 Chronicles 36, verses 6-7. Fourth, Jehoiakim died miserably just as Jeremiah had prophesied. Jehoiakim returned to Jerusalem not long after he was taken captive to Babylon, and he completed his 11-year reign until 597 BC. He did evil in the sight of the Lord and died a tragic death at the young age of 36. Prophet Jeremiah had prophesied that there would be no one to take pity or lament his death. He would be dragged off and thrown out beyond the gates of Jerusalem and be buried with a donkey's burial, and his dead body would be cast out to the heat of the day and the frost of the night. Just as Jeremiah had prophesied, Jehoiakim was killed at the hands of King Nebuchadnezzar's servants in the 8th month of 597 BC and was cast out of the city of Jerusalem. Beloved Saints, King Jehoiakim did not realize that the history of the world throughout all the ages and times is in God's hand, and that all power and might lie in his hand. Had Jehoiakim relied upon God and not upon Egypt, God would have raised up Judah once again. Isaiah 31 verse 3 states, "Now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses are flesh and not spirit. So the Lord will stretch out his hand, and he who helps will stumble, and he who is helped will fall, and all of them will come to an end together." As stated, Jehoiakim sought help from Egypt, but it caused them to perish. His reliance upon Egypt became a shame and reproach. Let us learn from Jehoiakim. All fear subsides, and even the strongest enemy will draw back when the believer relies on God. No great powers of this world can touch those who trust firmly in God. Let us trust and rely on God, and then God will raise us up like the meaning of the name Jehoiakim. I bless in the name of the Lord.